Come to your knees to practice cat-cow. Have your hands directly under your shoulders, arms extended. Inhale in neutral, and then exhale into cat pose, rounding the back, lifting the waist to the ceiling, head and tailbone heavy. Hang out here and breathe. Let the belly recede and press your shoulder blades away from your spine. So reach your shoulder blades down into the arms, into the hands, which are spreading and pressing into the mat. And then on your next inhale, move through neutral and then into cow pose. So lift the buttocks and the sitting bones. Let the upper thoracic spine sink towards the chest. Lift and widen the collarbones. Lengthen the throat as you lift the chin and look up. And then come back to neutral. Take a nice deep breath in to lengthen your spine. And then as you exhale, start to come into cat pose. Bringing the chin towards the chest. Tailbone moves down and in, rounding the back. And then inhale into cow pose, lifting the chest, lifting the buttocks, shoulders move back away from the ears, and exhale back into cat pose. Really extend through your elbows, reach your shoulder blades down towards your hands, and then inhale into cow. Let the bottom front ribs reach forward, lift the chest, lift the buttocks, and exhale back into cat. And continue at your own pace here. And play with it a little bit. See if you can find some extra movement in the shoulder blade area, in the upper thoracic spine area. You can let yourself be a little bit creative here with some subtle movements, staying with the cat-cow pattern, but and spin around on the chair so that you can do the other side. Squirmy. As you come into cow pose, feel the shoulders really move back away from the ears, shoulder blades sliding down the back. And then as you come into cat pose, round the whole spine and reach the shoulder blades away from the spine towards the hands. Relax internally as you keep going. See if you can deepen the movement. Deepen your awareness in the moment. And on your next inhalation, make your way back into a neutral position. We'll practice a version of Urdhva Hastasana with a strap. So hold on to your strap in your hands quite wide, and then lift the arms up overhead and put a little tension on the strap. Make sure that your feet and legs are organized underneath you. A little bit of space between the feet. Get long in the legs, grounded in the feet, lift the low belly and stretch the whole rib cage up off of the abdomen so the front, side, and back ribs are all lifting, and then continue the expression of that rib cage lift by stretching and lifting the arms, lifting the strap overhead. Let the arms move back as the shoulder blades move forward into the rib cage. Head balancing right on top. Lengthening the body here. And then exhale and lower the arms down. And now for Urdhva Hastasana with a block between the hands. So have the block between the palms and then lift the block up and overhead. Feet and legs organized underneath you. Thighs rolling in, thigh bones back. Lengthen up through the musculature of the legs. Lift the low belly, lift the rib cage. Lengthen through the sides of your waist, lengthen through the sides of your spine. Keep lengthening up through the armpits, through the elbows, through the fingertips. Squeeze the block and reach the block and the arms back as you reach the shoulder blades forward. Keep the stretch of the sides of your body, keep the stretch of the armpits, and then pull your shoulder blades a little bit down your back so the top shoulder blades move down. Balance the head right on top. Connect the length of your arms into the length of the legs and the length of the legs into the length of the arms. And then lower the arms down. Now we'll practice a variation of Tadasana with a strap behind the back. So hold the strap in your hands behind your back as you see here, palms facing forward. Roll your shoulders back. Bend the knees and elbows at first, and then straighten the legs and straighten the arms as you get taller through the spine, ascending the spine from bottom to top. Shoulders massaging the back of the shoulder sockets. And get long in your waist, long in your side ribs. Externally rotate the arms and balance your trunk and your head right over the arches of the feet. Now we'll practice Uttanasana, and we'll use a strap here, so hold on to the strap behind your back with palms facing forward, and begin by bringing the heads of the humerus bones, or the very tops of your shoulders, back. Stand tall on two legs, and then bend your knees as you start to hinge at the hips to fold forward, taking the arms up and overhead. Stretch the arms towards the wrists. Pull your shoulder blades towards each other slightly and take the strap up and overhead. Let your head relax and release down. And with soft knees, think of the front of the rib cage releasing down towards the toenails, so the abdomen stays long. Breathe here as you release the rib cage down, as you release the spine and the head down. Stay active in the arms, reaching the extension of the arms towards the hands. Lift the backs of the legs. Exhale right on through the top of the head. Open and released in the back of the throat. And then lead with the arms reaching back to help you come on up. Spread wide through the collarbones. And release. Now we'll practice Garudasana arms in Tadasana. So stand in mountain pose, and then inhale and lift the arms out to the sides. And exhale and sweep the right arm underneath the left arm as you see here. And then inhale and lift the elbows up, reach the forearms up. And exhale, lower the elbows and forearms down to chest height. And then inhale, lift the elbows again, lift the chest and the collarbones. Exhale and pull the forearms forward away from you as you lower the elbows down. Inhale, lift the elbows up, pull the forearms forward and up. And exhale, lower the elbows down, pulling the forearms forward again. And continue like this, thinking of the shoulder blades moving away from the spine, around and out to the sides. Continue here. Be long in the trunk and strong in the legs, standing right over the arches. Inhale, lifting the elbows and the forearms up. And then exhale and release the arms out to the sides. Take an inhale here. And exhale and swing the left arm underneath the right arm. Let the abdomen settle back as you lift the elbows and forearms and chest and chin. And then exhale, lower the elbows and forearms down, also pulling the forearms away from the chest. Inhale, lifting the forearms up. Exhale, lower the arms. Let those shoulder blades get pulled away from the spine here. Stay long in the anterior spine and keep going. Breathing here as you move. Inhale, lifting the elbows and forearms up. Exhale, lowering them down. And again, lifting. And now exhale, release the arms. And recover here, standing tall, collarbones wide. Now we'll practice an arm stretch in Tadasana. So stand with your feet and legs organized underneath you, and then start to extend your arms out to the sides, the right arm to the right and the left arm to the left. Be very extended in your limbs. Long straight elbows, long straight knees. Lift the low belly. Lift the whole rib cage up off your abdomen. Lift the front side and back ribs, and then really stretch through the arms and start to flex at the wrists so the fingertips point straight up. Reach the shoulders back, reach the shoulder blades down as you get taller through your side ribs. So the heads of the humerus bones reach back, shoulder blades slide down, and you get taller through the inner trunk. Stretching open through the arms, and you can play with a little arm movement here, letting the arms reach up a little bit, reach back a little bit, flexing and unflexing at the wrists, stretching through the fingers, long in the waist, stretching through the arms, playing with a little arm movement here, and then lower the arms down. Now we'll practice cactus arms in Tadasana. So stand with your feet and legs organized underneath you. And take your arms out to the sides and then bring them into this cactus position with 90-degree angles at the elbow joints. Take the shoulders back and then start to rotate the arms so that you bring the elbows forward and the fingertips to point back behind you. And then bring the arms back to a centered cactus. And again, externally rotate the humerus bones to bring the elbows forward and the fingertips to point back a little bit. And then back to center. And continue like this, just playing with this little bit of external rotation in the upper arm bones. Staying long in the side ribs. Staying lifted in the low belly. Be muscularly active in the legs. Stretch the forearms away from each other. Wide open chest. And then exhale and release. Now step your feet so that they're a little bit wider than your hips. Hands on hips, shoulders back, and start to soften the knees as you crease at the hips and fold forward. And we'll do here a loose Uttanasana. So let your arms hang down, let your head hang down, and do a little bit of gentle movement in your head and neck, shaking your head no and yes. And shake out and relax through your shoulders a little bit. Nice soft knees so that you can really relax your trunk and your rib cage up and over and down. Breathe here as you release through the shoulders and the neck and the head. Stay open in the back of the throat. Exhale to drain out through the top of the head. Relax and release your arms. And then you can even sway your trunk a little bit. Swaying and relaxing, shifting your weight. Releasing and dropping the head. And really dropping your weight into your feet, into your legs here. Keep soft knees and start to roll yourself up through your spine. Stacking the spine one vertebrae at a time, and let your head come up last. Now we'll do a seated twist with a chair. So have a seat sideways on your chair. And adjust the flesh of your buttocks so that you can really sit on the front half of your sitting bones and have your feet flat. And then twist so that you face the back of the chair. And use your hands on the back of the chair to help you twist a little deeper. You'll find that one hand can push and one hand can pull. And that can help you turn your rib cage around a little more. See if you can allow the heads of the humerus bones to stay back in the shoulder sockets. So there's a feeling that the shoulders are back and the shoulder blades are sliding down from top to bottom, and you still stay long through the inner trunk. And then release the twist and spin around on the chair so that you can do the other side. Again, adjust the flesh of the buttocks. Pull the flesh of the buttocks back behind the sitting bones. And this way you can maintain the natural curves of the spine as you sit tall. So sitting tall comes easily because your bones are organized and you don't stress out your muscles by contriving an upright seat. And then turn and twist towards the back of the chair and use your hands on the back of the chair. And if you practice, you'll find that one hand can push and one hand can pull, and that will very naturally help you deepen your twist. Take your shoulders back, lift the low belly, turn the belly, turn the ribs, turn the collarbones. Breathe here as you're deep in the twist. And then release and come back to center. And now bring your chair over to the wall. So you'll set your sticky mat up against the wall and then take your chair over to the wall with the back of the chair right at the wall. And then place your hands on the front edge of the seat of the chair and step your feet back into a down dog position. Lift your heels, bend your knees, and lift your buttocks way up and back. Lift the outer hips back, lift the inner thighs back. Lift the pelvis up and back so much that there's lots of room for your head to release down. Pull the rib cage away from the push of the hands. So your hands are pushing down and forward into the front seat of the chair. Stay long through the armpits. Squeeze your upper arm bones towards each other. And pull the rib cage back and up to chase after the pelvis. You can let the heels release back and down. And if it works for your body, you can start to straighten the knees. But keep bent knees if that helps you keep the buttocks lifting. And lift up through the musculature of the legs to make the legs taller and longer. And then pull the inner thighs and the outer hips back again. Long through the armpits and the waist. Long through the abdomen. Head releasing. Externally rotate the arms a bit so your armpits turn to face each other. And then step one foot forward and the other to come out of the pose. Now lay down on your belly, so the sticky mat is right up against the wall. And you'll lay down with your head side closer to the wall. Place your elbows on the floor right where the sticky mat meets the wall, and your forearms will go up the wall, so your handprints are flat on the wall here. And then slide your ribcage back away from the elbows, which will take your whole laid out body back away from the wall a little bit to give some nice length and space to the armpits. Press your thumb mounds into the wall. Reach the elbows forward right into the crease of the wall and the floor. Let your forehead release down and enjoy this shoulder opening. And then bring your hands to the floor alongside your chest. Help yourself on up to hands and knees to come out of the pose. And now lay down on your back for a shoulder opening exercise. Have your knees bent and feet flat, your pelvis and spine in neutral. And then stretch your arms out to the sides. And start to slide your shoulder blades down your back. Stay long in the trunk, long in the abdomen, long in the rib cage, and pull the arms out to the sides, right arm to the right, left arm to the left, and stretch your arms out to the sides from the midline. So from the midline, you extend and expand your wingspan, and then press the backs of your hands into the floor as you press the shoulder blades up into the rib cage. So firm those shoulder blades up to the rib cage. Stretch more, extend through the elbows. Open the palms, open the fingers. And then as you exhale, release out of this activity. Now we'll practice another shoulder opening exercise called cactus. So bring your arms into the cactus position. So there's a 90-degree angle at the elbows. Elbows are shoulder height, and then the forearms are parallel to each other. Knees bent and feet flat, neutral pelvis, neutral spine. Slide your shoulder blades down your back and press your forearms into the floor as you snuggle your shoulder blades up into your rib cage. And then start to lift the elbows up towards the ceiling, keeping the fingernails down onto the floor, and then lower the elbows back down. And again, lift the elbows up to the ceiling, creating some deep external rotation in the upper arm bones, and lower the elbows back down. And keep going like this, keeping the fingernails grounded, feeling the shoulder blades sliding down the back and snuggling into the rib cage. Breathing here as you lift the elbows up and then lower the elbows back down. Now we'll practice belly rolling pose, a passive variation. So be on your back with your arms spread out to your sides. Start with knees bent and feet flat, neutral pelvis and neutral spine. And then bring your knees over your hips and take your knees all the way over to the right side near your right elbow. And let your knees rest all the way down on the floor here. Slide the belly to the left, reach the left arm to the left. And breathe here as you stretch the arms wide. And then allow yourself to become passive in this pose, just letting gravity help you deepen in the stretch. And then bring your knees back over to the center and knees over to the left side, letting the legs surrender to gravity here, just letting them drop down. And pull the belly to the right and give a little length to the right arm, reaching to the right, spreading through the wingspan. And then relax and release, letting go here. And then bring your knees up to the center and rest your feet down on the sticky mat. Now we'll practice a supported fish with a bolster underneath the rib cage and have a strap nearby for your hands. So lay back so the bolster supports you underneath your thoracic spine. Release the flesh of the buttocks away from the lower back, away from the back ribs. Knees bent and feet flat to support you, and then grab your strap and reach your arms up and overhead, hands holding the strap at shoulder distance apart. Enjoy this nice extension of the spine as you lengthen through the front of the spine and lengthen the abdomen, and then extend your legs. Stretch the legs and stretch the arms. Allow yourself to be supported by the bolster here. Become internally absorbed here. As you relax and release and gently guide yourself to lengthen a little more. Smooth and steady inhalation and a steady exhalation. And then bend your knees one at a time, place your feet flat, and roll to your side. Pass through your side to come out of the pose, coming on up to sit. Now we'll practice Shavasana. So we'll have a bolster to support you underneath the knees and thighs. And have a spread out blanket on the head side as you see here. So lay down and adjust the flesh of the buttocks so that it's moving away from the lower back. And then start to roll up your blanket so that we'll have this nice roll of support underneath the neck. So find just the right amount of blanket roll for underneath your neck. And then slide your shoulder blades down your back and release the arms so the palms are face up. And once you feel fairly organized here, then really relax and release.